Gonna say it any minute. There we go. We're live. All right. YouTube, Facebook. Hey, my name's Sean. I'm a returning citizen here at Wings for Life International, and this is Wings Week in Review. And I got a couple guests today. I have Stanley from Best Chance Services for the recently released, and we have Gary Peterson who'll be here, sitting over here in just a second. He does our car donation program. I have Mary Briggs, who is the backbone behind Wings for Life. She holds this place together. She's going to give you a quick little update on a few things that we did this week.
Okay, so Ann was talking to a woman from the district where there's a lot of crime and stuff, and so we're going to get together and partner with them. We also had a wonderful speaker, Ronak Blatt, CPA, to MDC to CAPA, and so he had quite a journey, and what life taught him was to always tell the truth. And so he had one time when he was applying to school, and the time had already passed, so he went in and talked to the guy who was doing the interviewing. And so he says, well, this is a special occasion. So he let him into school. And so now he has his own CPA business, and he's in two places here in one in Albuquerque and one in Los Angeles.
For somebody who's
Yeah,
done some prison
yeah.
time, huh?
So this coming up week, we have Community Policing Council, Kelly Mensa. And so that'll be an interesting, because we have the police department who goes to different parts of the city and visits with the citizens of our city and talks what the needs are and answers any questions.
A lot to comment about that.
Right. We also wrote a grant for the elderly so that we could help them out when we get our wings started.
Yeah.
And we could have weekly meetings and address some of the problems that they have.
I'm glad we're going to help the elderly because I'm just about there myself.
Well, I am there. So yeah. So I also went down today to high noonday and set up a table for the homeless and talked to many of them. And we had some people that were really interested, a lot of the board. We even had some people who ran the race that we did last weekend.
Yeah, we did the Ninja Ultimate Challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they had a son that was raced in for us, and so they were surprised at what we did. So,
right.
Yep. So that's the update.
And you heard it here. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary. Kathy D is said hello to everyone. Kathy D is a lady from Australia who's been watching us pretty regularly. She has a son in prison in Australia. I think he gets out in 8 years, right, Kathy? Hey, Gary, you can sit over here if you want. I'm going to have Gary come over here, and I'm going to introduce you next to Stanley. He's from Best Chance. It's an organization for people that just got out of prison. And is it jails too or just prisons?
Well, it will soon be jails too. We got a grant of $60,000 from the state of New Mexico for behavioral health services. We will now become Best Chance Wellness Center. And the scope of work involves not turning anyone away who comes to us for help. It used to be that we didn't have the resources to help everybody, so we concentrated on people who left prisons, and now we'll be seeing people who leave MDC also. And
okay,
yeah.
So I know, like some of the things you do that I know, you could tell me more. You can help them get a state ID.
We do that.
I know you give them a backpack. You guys have those handy right there.
We always have backpacks.
Always have backpacks.
With clean socks, new socks, and new underwear. No one wants used underwear. We found.
No.
We never even tried that. But, but hygiene goods and notepads.
And you can help them get medicated, right? We
help them with that, and I think we're probably as strong as anyone in the city getting people up and running. That's why our tagline has always been services for the recently released.
And housing too, right? You guys with sober living housing.
Sober living housing. We have a fourplex that I live in also, so that I could see firsthand what's happening, which is intriguing. People always say, "How are you getting all your neighbors?" I said, "They're fascinating people." On the other hand, as I'm 78, and if they see me struggling, they move my trash can.
Wow.
You know, they're very. It was a good decision for me too, because I'm surrounded by people who care and are appreciative of the services we get offer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you guys located at?
Our office is at 5907 Alice Avenue, and if you know this city real well, you might not know Alice Avenue. It's only 3 blocks long, but we're very close to Lomas and San Pedro. There's a Smith's there, and we're kind of behind it at Cardenas and Alice. And Alice is where Marble usually would be 1 block north of Lomas. So it's very easy and accessible from buses, which, praise the Lord, are free this year.
Got a few more people in the room I want to say hello to. We got the KJ Effect. That's Ken.
Hey, Ken.
And it says great job. And Laisha, I guess. How you doing?
Is it Letitia?
Lysha.
Oh, no, it's
Laisha, right?
Lisha. I'd say Lisha.
Hopefully we got it right. Sorry there, Laisha. She says yes. And TJ, and he says, Sean, TJ been following this show. He's been waiting to get sentenced. And he got, believe it or not, he got 6 months home arrest. He was on an airplane and he got a little fight with the flight attendant. You remember when people were having the mask and not on, and you heard about these viral videos you see on the
they're fun to watch. They're fun to live through.
He was the star of one of those. And,
did he star in one?
Well, I don't think they filmed it.
Well,
anyway, he got lucky. He just called me this morning, so the judge. But he got 5 years probation too. But he thought he might have to go to jail, to prison. So
I'm glad you don't. And one of the things we emphasize when people get out or before, if we have a chance to serve them, is emotion regulation, because most people who've served some time have a moment they regretted where they resisted arrest or got involved in something. And if you can teach someone to take a breath, take a step back, it's easy to say. As one who once, when I was 22, left an apartment with a very long butcher knife in my hand. Rage is hard to do, but my new take on it is all the anger management classes sort of missed the point. I think if we could have frustration lowering classes, we'd come closer. Most people don't see it as anger. At that point, it's just rage that comes up. But if you just know when you're becoming frustrated, I think we could catch some of that sooner.
I got Jay
I
McGuire.
see Gary shaking his head.
I'm going to say, bring in Gary. I got Jay McGuire, and he says he's got less than 2 weeks to go for his sentencing, I guess. So, yeah, a lot of these people are getting ready to get sentenced, and they find these prison channels and they watch it. So, but, when you get out of prison, people like Best Chance are here to help. Wings for Life is here to help. And how does Wings for Life get our money? Through people like Gary. I'm going to introduce you, Gary. I got a little banner for you, Gary. I'll put it up here. And I also have the links to One Community Service underneath the video. So maybe if you scoot over a little bit, there we go. So, guys, this is Gary Peterson. He's from One Community Auto. He runs our Wheels for Wings program, where you can donate your car, your boat, your vehicle, pretty much any kind of
anything on wheels.
On wheels.
Even with wings, maybe we get an airplane out there somewhere. We donate. We do all the paperwork. We do all the towing. We make it really easy for whoever wants to donate their vehicle, and then we get it back to our shop and we kind of refurb it a little bit if we can, and then we get it sold through our auction. And we have an auction for this. May be of interest to folks too. To buy some of these cars. Because they're still good cars. We try to make it a win-win for everybody. A win for the donor because we get refurbing it, we get to sell it for a higher price. Okay. And then, of course, Wings gets more money, to help with their programs. And then 3, it's a decent car still, usually to get back into the community. So, a lot of times the cars they may have some paint fading, or they're not very pretty, but they still run good. So they're perfect cars to get to school, get to work, get to do the things that you need to do. And so that's a good opportunity too for folks if they just need a car.
Yeah.
We do a car auction every third Thursday of the month. We just had one
Can
yesterday.
I just ask what the bidding starts at on those?
It starts at $25.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it just kind of depends on the car. Different, some are low miles, some are high miles, some are just all. We get something in every day different.
Wow.
So that's a good opportunity. So, but by refurbing it, like I say, we get it back on the road. We try to. And some are clunkers, they don't go back on the road, but
Sure.
most of them we try to get because it gets more money back to the program. So we try our best to get that done. So we're operating all over the New Mexico and the United States. So it doesn't matter where you are.
You hear that,
wanna donate,
guys? Anywhere in the country,
Yeah.
you can call this number.
Yeah,
So
anywhere.
you have different office or different.
Well, we have partnerships with
partnerships what I'm
other.
looking for.
Yeah, we have partnerships with other auctions. So for example, we had a car donated in Georgia last year. It was a Wings, somebody affiliated with Wings. And so, but we got it taken care of. We got it to a local auction. We got the car sold. The money comes right back here to the program. And so, yeah, you can be anywhere in the country and donate a vehicle. And it doesn't have to be running. It could be a clunker. It could be running good.
What
It
if
could
it
be a
has
trade-in.
tickets on it?
That usually doesn't affect it too much, unless maybe if you're in California, they have some with the titling situation out there. But for around here, it doesn't matter. So if your car maybe it's not operable, it's going to get towed, go ahead and donate it. Or, even if you wreck your car, it's a lot of people, they say there's a problem with the car, or maybe it gets stolen or it gets wrecked, and the insurance totals it out. You can buy your car back from insurance for pennies on the dollar and then donate it.
Oh.
And so that's kind of another option that a lot of people don't think about. But you might buy it back for a couple $100 and we could sell it for $2,000, so we get a lot more money to the program if we could do that.
Now, it doesn't matter if the cars that have been registered in a couple of years,
No.
been sitting in the driveway,
No,
had an accident last year and we've been meaning to fix it, but now it's just becoming an eyesore.
Yeah.
You can still take
it really doesn't matter. We take anything, even if it doesn't have wheels on it, we'll take it.
really.
We have a tow truck. We'll go anywhere and pick it up. We've got cars out of the backyard, down the ditch, all kinds of situations that we've encountered out there to get these cars. And ideally, there's a title. You have a title.
So they have to have.
Yeah, that's, or we try to get a title because it's harder to sell it if we don't have a title.
Sure.
But there are situations where, maybe it's a family member's that's passed on or something like that, where we just can't get a title. We can still deal with that. We just sell it, basically without a title. We just make sure it's got clear, and then we can get it sold. So yeah, all kinds of different options. If there's any kind of situations out there, just give us a call and we'll try to figure it out. We try to work with everybody on that.
Now, do you just work with Wings, or like he has Best Chance? Do you help other organizations?
Yeah, we help. We actually have about
Maybe you
55 charities that we support in the community here, ranging, all kinds of different programs, from children, veterans, all kinds of different programs, schools and religious groups.
So when someone calls up and they want the money to go to Wings for Life, they tell you, or is that a special phone number? Or
Yeah, if they call us, if they were to call, you could do it two ways. You could call us, our number's listed there, and just say, hey, I want to donate my car to Wings, or they tell us whatever charity they.
Or they can pick a charity.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I have the number here, 901-9510.
Correct. Yeah. Or if you go to our website, there's a form on there you can fill out.
Okay.
And on there it says what charity do you want it to go to. So you just fill that out. And then we have, paperwork for each charity that we take out.
And if a charity out there wants to sign up with you,
just give me a call and we can certainly get signed up.
Stanley, maybe that's
Like I said, we try to make it easy. The other thing that, if you have anybody in your program or, your supporters that's a part of maybe they're a car dealer, they're a shop, they always need to get rid of cars. Sure. Towing companies, fleets, anybody, if you have any donors that have fleets of, like, let's say a plumbing company or, things like that are your donors, possibly, you might be able to get some vehicles from them as well. So we definitely support those groups. So basically, anybody has a car, this is a great way to. And it's a pain to get rid of your car sometimes. You don't want to try to sell on Craigslist. That's a nightmare. We don't want it to go to the junkyard. We want it to get back into the community, ideally. So,
but I assume some of them actually do end up the value of the recycled metal. And
yeah, if it doesn't run, but a lot of times we still, by just cleaning it up and presenting it, we'll get 5 to 10 times more than you would by selling it to the junkyard.
No kidding. That's cool.
Now, I came from California, and when your car breaks down there, and you don't have, there's a whole smog certificate that's really hard to get. The registration tickets, like you said.
Right.
So a lot of people do donate their cars to California because it's just too much work,
deal with it. Yeah,
too much to deal with. Yeah, I'm not sure.
New Mexico is really easy, as far as that kind of stuff goes. As long as you have a title, it's good to go.
It was so easy for me to register my car when I came to New Mexico and get it transferred over the plates, and the smog. My car's 20 years old, so I'm praying.
Yeah, be worried about it.
I pull in and I'm done in 3 minutes. Oh yeah, you passed the flying colors. I go, what? I never. And you have these little smog places you just pull in and out over there.
It's super easy.
So super easy.
Yeah, you could ride around with a crate for your seat. And you don't even need a. It does everything else here.
But when I was listening, I was thinking, you know what? I think I'll leave my walker in my wheel to you guys.
And we've had other things. People have donated a lawnmower, a tractor.
No kidding.
Just really anything. So if it's like equipment, we're an auction company as well, so we can auction off anything. So even if they have. If they want to donate their estate to you, or a piece of equipment, or a business liquidation, or something like that, we will get it done. We're in a business to help you raise some money. So we really want to help your program.
Now you guys get something out of this, right? You're not just
we get a handling fee and things like that, to get it done. But we, like I say, we take care of all the paperwork, and we do all that kind of stuff. So we try to make it really easy for everybody.
I'm sure you earned your keep. Yeah, and I'm sure you're finding life here easier than California.
I mess around with guitars. I want to work on a jingle for you. I was singing to that one. That's the competition, so I'm not gonna sing it for you guys. But that one I hear on the radio a lot. We need one for you guys.
Yeah, we have Wheels for Wings. It's a great logo and it's a great program. Yeah, we need a jingle, and we need we can play the guitar for us.
There you go. There you go. Anybody out there come up with a jingle too? The number's on the screen. You can give them a call. Let me catch up on some of these comments. All you guys are talking about prison stuff, but got Jay McGuire, 30 months. I think that's what he's looking at going to prison for. Pending an appeal filed by the government. TJ says, I did 30 months in state prison in North Carolina. It wasn't to keep bad your mind busy reading and it will fly by. Something like that. And yeah, I've only done county time. If these people take the time to write in a comment and it's their show, that's what I like to do. Because without you guys watching, we don't have a channel. We're just talking to ourselves. We need you guys. So
actually, this gives me an idea that we have this grant to become a wellness center and a drop-in center. During COVID, everything was done through appointments. But think of the services people want, and if people have suggestions, be sure to do X. We're also forming a participant council that will help shape the programs too. So it's not just what the leaders of the organization who've all served time anyway, but we want the community and people who need services to tell us what they need most of all.
There you go.
So we can be very responsive.
Jay says he's headed to Florence, Colorado. So Jay, that's where I grew up at. And I have 4 people that I'm in contact with there on my emails now. And if you get a hold of my emails down below underneath the video, and I'll contact them and you guys can email each other. And then when you get there, this is what I did for the other 3 guys. I had one guy meet the one guy that was coming in there. Now they were friends. The third guy came, 2 guys going to meet him. Now 3 of them. now the fourth guy came. 3 of them met to meet him, and now they're all hanging out. You could be the fifth guy. That way, when you get to this prison camp in Florence, you'll have people waiting for you that are just like you, that came from, regular kind of. He's going to a prison camp where like regular non-violent people go to prison too. So, so I have this channel that I do called Federal Prison Time, and Federal Prison Talk, and I've hooked guys up that are all going to the same prison.
Good.
So now they're all buddies,
Yeah.
and they all started from watching my show before
That's
they
good.
went into prison.
Yeah.
So I want to do that for you, Jay. So when you get there, you got a crew of guys waiting for you, and hopefully it all works
Well, and
out.
Florence is interesting because it's the camp, but it's also the most severe maximum security
The ADX
facility.
Supermax. That was my day job. I was a cook over at the.
You cooked there?
I cooked for El Chapo. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And the Boston Bomber and
I'd be afraid it wasn't
Unabomber.
up to his standards.
Ted Kaczynski made his special meals. He had a special diet that we had to make special.
I always thought Ted Kaczynski could teach one of our classes on how to live on very little, because the stories had it that he lived on $3,000 a year, and I always was curious about how he did that.
I'll tell you a story about him while I was in there. When the guards had to, he had to go to the shoe. Believe it, he lives in the shoe, but they sent him to the shoe because their TVs are behind a screen. They have a TV, but it's behind. He found a way to get the screen off, pull the wires out of the TV, and somehow made a remote control where he could turn the channels, hooked up to his little MP3 radio and stuff, and he had it all. So they found all this in his cell. And, this is the guy, the Unabomber, so he's pretty handy.
Well, beyond that, he was the interesting thing. The irony was his whole manifesto had to do with anti-technology. And yet
here he was working with technology.
Tech
I know.
It's fun.
Yeah. So he found a way to get the TV apart and all that. And so they threw him in the shoe for however many months or whatever. And then they had to build a special TV screen that he couldn't take apart in a new cell for him. And so this guy's still up to his old tricks. Interesting guy, though.
No doubt about it. But you're talking about, I was just thinking about ironies, the irony of the person who wrote the anti-technology manifesto, taking the works and making it happen. I think the greatest irony in the work we are all doing is that the people in this world who least like authority figures and supervision end up incarcerated, where they are subject to more supervision and authority figures than they would in any other type of a lifestyle. And I wish everyone could see that before they end up in that situation, because it's frustrating. I remember I hired someone once, and within the first week working for me, he said, "I'm not accustomed to being critiqued." I thought, well, that's an interesting thing to say on a new job.
Yeah, especially a new job.
Well, we teach. You might have suggestions that'll make the organization work better. Could you just show up for work on time for the first 3 months, and then use language like, "Would you be comfortable if I made a suggestion?" And then see and read the body language before you start telling your boss how to do it.
Yeah, it's like being the new guy on the job trying to tell them how it should be ran.
Yeah, it's sort of like, well, let me put it this way. I didn't hire you as a management consultant. I really need someone to do X, Y, and Z. And on that note, because of our new grant, we're hiring 2 new peer support workers, and we're also looking for someone who could help with bookkeeping at some of the office.
Okay.
So,
and you hire people with a criminal record?
As a matter of fact, we're the one organization in the world where it's a prerequisite.
You're that guy?
It's not only that we hire people, we prefer people with, who come out. What we look for is self-awareness. If they have a story they tell and we understand it, not necessarily excuses, just how I grew, how I had a chance to think during the last 10 years, 3 years, 5 years of what works and what doesn't work. That makes a big difference. And if they have insight into their own situation or childhood trauma, those types of things. They don't have to relive anything, but awareness is what we're looking for. I'm sure Wings for Life finds those are the people who become the best volunteers and support staff here, because they know the life, they can share their stories, and especially like people who used to have just horrible addictions and substance use disorders, but somehow found a way to overcome that, whether through a spiritual path or any other means. But usually there's a spiritual element. Something becomes more complete for them.
Gary, do you guys do any hiring?
We do. We're not right now, but depending on what our projects are, things like that.
You hire mechanics, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
mechanics.
Tow truck drivers.
Right, exactly.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know a lot of people out of prison know our mechanics. They take auto shop. Would you hire somebody from prison that worked in the auto shop for 5 years or something like that?
You bet.
Okay.
A lot of skills. That's it's hard to find somebody with some certain skills, to do that kind of stuff. Okay. But we're we do some government contracting as well.
Okay.
So we kind of have some other programs that we work on that, it's some, or an auction, for example.
Okay.
I may need to auction support for a week, or we're only doing we recently did the highway department auction. So it was kind of we did a lot of work in 2 weeks, and then it's kind of we don't have nothing to do, in that sense. So there could be some temporary things as well.
But I've seen some of our guys. To me, it's magical that someone who was living in one of our houses had an electric car and the battery stopped, but one of the other guys says, "Let me look at it," and laid hands on it, and it ran. It's like, and then another one. I had a car. You might get it someday for sure, but it made the loudest noise, and everyone said that's going to stop someday. It was the alternator had a loose part.
Really?
But one of the guys I took it to some mechanics. And they said, I can't tell what it is. I don't see anything. He put on and he touched the alternator and he felt that there was something loose, and he said, "You need a new alternator." And took to another certified mechanic. He said, "You need a new alternator." Actually, I took it after the car stopped. I was not the bright fellow who anticipated what everyone told me
making
would
noise
happen.
for a while, but that's
yeah. I mean, knowing what to do and doing the right things, you might tell us about that, but
like most people that went to prison knew what the right thing to do was, and we didn't do it. So even though we knew it was wrong, we did it anyways. You get to that point where you cross that line and it's too late to go back.
It's tough.
And, it's tough, but you can come back. You can make it back on the other side of the line and go.
Oh, absolutely.
But now you got to put the prison. You got to do the work, put the prison behind you. But you got to do the programs, the classes, believe in yourself, work on your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. Have God in your life. It's a lot of work. Which I'm in the process of getting there.
I hear you.
Let me say hi to Frank from Tijuana real quick. Hey Frank, he watches the show too. He's on federal pretrial and living in Mexico, waiting. And when he does get sentenced, then he'll have to do his time here in the country. Okay. They actually let you live in another country.
I was going to say that
he's out on a bond, living in Tijuana.
I would love to meet his defense attorney.
Yeah, I don't know how he pulled that off, but I actually that's not uncommon. In Tijuana, a lot of people live in Tijuana but work in San Diego, and so to them it's just a commute. And I guess some of your border towns here, people do the same. It's cheaper to live in Mexico.
It's also where the Caesar salad was invented.
Yeah, by a busboy named Caesar, I believe. Right? I heard the story.
I've had a Caesar salad at Caesar's in Tijuana.
Oh, okay. It was an Italian restaurant in Tijuana?
I don't know.
I think it was an Italian restaurant.
I went and I had the salad.
I heard that they had a busboy, didn't know how to really make the dress. It was a mistake dressing, but it was so good that who made this? Caesar made this. Well, this is pretty good. You ought to, do something. And next thing you know,
it's a world famous.
Pretty good. Yeah,
love it.
A lot of people don't know that Caesar dressing came from Tijuana. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I'm going to San Diego next week, so maybe I'll check
really?
it out.
There you go. There you
I
go.
know that. Balboa Park, I know that area.
Yeah.
But a lot of your folks have traveled. They'll tell you the federal facilities they've been in, and they didn't get to see it. One of our program participants had his arrest in London, and he describes himself as someone who has been the guest of the Queen. But she didn't invite me to stay at Buckingham Palace. That's how he put it.
Wow. All right. Let's see. Let me catch up on your. Well, they're just kind of talking to each other, but I wouldn't need. I see it's also a chat room, so I'm glad you guys come on here every week and you get to talk to each other and get to know each other that way too. So I think I got up on everybody. We got like 8 people in the room, so that's great. That's great. So Gary, when's the next auction coming up?
Yeah, so
anybody
we,
wants to buy a car,
Next month, the
Next
third Thursday of every month.
third Thursday of every month.
Yep. And we mix in some estate auctions and other type of sales as well.
Okay.
So we always have, all kinds of different things going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys we get people coming out of prison. They need a car.
Yes,
So
indeed.
would that be a good place for them to go?
Yeah, they're like I say, they can come check them out, and they're very reasonable.
Okay.
And so we can kind of guide them. Hey, don't get this car's better, or it may look ugly, but this one runs good.
Now,
That's a big
what's
point.
the other end that will they end up paying? Like you said, it's 25. It starts at. Do they go up to 2,000-3,000?
They could, yeah.
Can I show up at 500 and get a decent car?
Well,
What do you recommend I buy?
500's pretty tough,
It's tough.
maybe
1,000?
Yeah, 1,000, 1,500.
Okay.
know,
To be
and-
realistic.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a little older and a little uglier, then it's going to be $1,500 or so. But
Okay.
we do get some low mile nice cars too, and they'll go for 3,000, 4,000, 5,000.
Okay.
So it just kind of
But
depends.
still 1,500, 2,000. I mean, that's a good, that's a used car price. Right
Are there any programs out there that help with that? I'm not aware of any, but that help get transportation.
I don't know. What we do, of course, we're blessed in that buses right now are free in our city, but the mistake I've seen guys do is they get their first job out and they'll buy a new car on time, and the economics of that, they drive off the parking lot and suddenly they have a car loan and less value, and they don't have the work history to know that they're going to keep the job. So we say find a car that runs, and indeed don't think about style. We've seen it over and over. Someone will pick the car that looks flashier but not have an engine that's better there.
That's true.
So just be sensible. You don't need a fancy car. You need transportation to and from work.
I always try to recommend like a Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry, Honda Civic. Just something simple, good on gas. Especially with gas prices right now.
Oh yeah.
You don't want a Suburban. If you can avoid it.
I remember my late wife and I worked it out, but we stopped by. I forget what year was the last time we bought a new car, but we always bought a used Honda or a used Toyota, and found the old number we knew was you could have a car and have all transportation for about $2,000 a year, and nothing came close to that.
Right.
And because of those types of habits, we were able to buy a fourplex and have it ready, and it's in my will to the best chance. Just
I got a quick question to answer here.
Sure,
Jay,
go
it
for it.
says, can I take cash with me the day that I surrender? Yes, you can. I wouldn't take more than a few $100s because you're trusting the correctional officers to do the right thing with it. Normally they will, but the rest of the money that you want put on your books, have someone wire it, Western Union or MoneyGram. But yeah, you can show up, just bring more than $200-300. You can only spend $300 a month anyways. The first trip to the prison store, you could spend $180. So anything more than that, you're not. It's just sitting on your account anyways. Hope that helps.
you hope you have someone in your life you trust who could put money on your.
If you have
Commissary.
that luxury, you have somebody to send you money in prison. A lot of guys have nobody. They depend on a prison job, and Start you out like 12 cents an hour washing dishes or something.
We're helping someone now who's incarcerated, but got us his PIN number, and we retrieved his property, and we will take what money was left in his bank account,
Nice.
put it on his commissary.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
We become poisonal with people.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, there was a guy who had one of these prison channels. He's called a prison consultant, and he charges money to help people prepare for prison. I called him up while I was on pre-trial, and I had no money, and he helped me for free. He told me how to get in this drug program that takes a year off your sentence, and just answered all these questions I had.
That's good.
And he put $100 on my books every month
No
for
kidding.
the whole 3 years that I did in there. Every month, he was never late.
You
So
have
now
you
I-
have a magnetic
So
personality.
now I try to pay it forward, and I've helped other people, and I'm trying to do what he did for me. I mean, so that's kind of why I started my channel, to give back like this guy did, and I put money on other people's boats. And
I
you
think
know.
most of us, somewhere in our life, we can think there, but for the grace of God, one moment, and I can think of several in my life where I came real close to doing something. I remember a thought, if Ronnie Rubin turns that corner, this is not going to end well for Ronnie Rubin. And then I thought, if Ronnie Rubin turns that corner, it's not going to end well for me either. And I just remember that, and grateful that I had that time to think. In fact, I was experiencing such rage that I left my apartment, I mentioned, with a big long knife, but didn't even know where the dude lived.
wow,
That's crazy. But our brains aren't fully formed at 20, 21, 22. The frontal lobe is just not there yet.
the guy who did that, for I want to say his name, it's Walt Pavlo, and he actually teaches criminology courses now at the Southern University of Boston, and he teaches like a whole white collar criminal course there that people are studying to be going in law enforcement, so they have to take his classes. And he went to prison himself and turned his life around, and he definitely helped me before I went to prison.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
yeah, you know, he's actually well, I don't know if he's a professor, but he has a contract with the university. And he does, you know, he's teaching.
By the way, if Gary's feeling left out of this part of the conversation, we have some tips on things you could do to fit right into.
What is your take on, since I know you help out Wings for Life and all that, but you know we help incarcerated families, and what is your whole perspective, or how do you feel about people who've been to prison?
Well, like I've been involved in this program, you know, in a way to give back too, you know, and you know, people deserve a second chance, and you know, so you know, I've had a lot of family members incarcerated,
Okay,
and so it's been
so that hits
yeah,
home.
you know, so you know, it's been kind of, you know, like your guys are saying, kind of do those things to get yourself right, and then get back into society, you know, and so I believe in that, you know, we never get back.
It's interesting. When we started our organization, first person I recruited had been in charge of all research, external research for the Intel Corporation. And I thought, we want everything we do to be evidence-based, so I'll recruit him. And I know he's a good board member. Then I was reminded that he had a son been through the system. Then but everyone I recruited found's been touched by the system in some way. I had one of my board members had a brother die of an overdose. Had others with children, brothers, sisters, either with a substance use disorder or involved with the criminal justice system. It's almost endemic now. It would be hard to recruit a board of directors and not find that everyone's life has been touched by this issue.
Yeah,
That's true.
let me answer Jay's question. Jay, I'm going to put, he's asking me what is the app that I download for emails, and it's Core Links. Let it come out. Oops. I'm going to type this in here. It's Core Links, and you can get it on Google Play. It's $6 a year, and that gives you, that's the email for the federal inmates. It's 10 cents a minute when you get in prison. for them to read it, for them to type it, send it, whatever. It's 10 cents a minute, but it's core links and the app comes on your phone. So $6 a year. You email somebody, your phone lights up. You just tap the button and there's their email, and then you just hit reply. It's really easy. You don't have to have the app. You can go on the website and do it, but the app's pretty handy. So I hope that helps. Sorry about that. I'm trying to keep up with their questions.
That's good.
So they have email in federal prison. State prison doesn't have email, but state prisons have tablets, which still don't have email, but they get some kind of movies on there. They get a lot of our Wings for Life programs are on a lot of tablets and surrounding states and stuff.
NBC,
Yeah, stuff like that. So I think women have video telephones now in the federal prisons. I don't know about the state prisons. I think they have video phones on the tablets in state prisons now. I don't know, but the technology is getting there. He's pretty, there was a time, everything was just mail, but now, I don't know if that makes life any better in prison just because you have email, but it helps
communication.
Oh, I would think so. It's hard not to feel despondent sometimes, and you want to be connected.
I know for me, I felt nobody out there cared if I existed. The world doesn't even know I exist. Even though I get a letter from a cousin and an aunt, but the letters weren't that often, every couple months. There was days you just don't think the world cares about you anymore. And it's tough.
Yeah,
you get out and you bring that same feeling with you when you get out, and it's not like in the movies when you get out of prison. You see these like mafia guys get out. There's a whole party waiting for them, and they got all the booze and liquor and all the. It's not like that.
Yeah.
There's nobody waiting.
The support system.
Or
some people have a family.
Who,
some people have family that wait for them, but most of us don't.
We have one guy came to us, and he did 30 years, and he was part of a fraternal twin. So his twin sister was waiting for him here, and a huge. Extraordinarily helpful support system, and he has a maturity about him that's quite extraordinary. I think a lot of people who were involved in gang activity or very youthful offenses who serve long terms for some serious issues, many of them come out. They could be teaching philosophy in universities. There's a depth of growth that you just don't see all the time. It's quite extraordinary and marvelous.
Kathy D, this is the lady in Australia. She's saying, I can do Zoom calls for free. So that's what Australia's doing in their prisons.
That's
free
cool.
Zoom calls. So that's nice. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so you got to send. I don't know what Australian prisons are like.
Australia's different. You could have the free Zoom calls, and you can box kangaroos.
Yes,
it's a truly different world. It's
probably get beat.
Oh no, you don't. They kick. Not that I know personally. But
there's a guy he's at a prison channel called Aussie Talks Prison. And we're supposed to do a show this weekend, guys, so on my channel. And then I'll find out more about Australian prisons. Because he's got a new prison channel. I'm helping him promote that. He just got out of prison, this guy. So I'm always helping there's a lady, too, named Angie, that just got out of federal prison. She has a called T-Talk Prison Stories. And she's done 6 or 7 shows already. I've had her on my channel. I've been helping promote her channel. Trying to help out some new guys out there on YouTube.
That's great, yeah. You're doing a great thing getting the word out on these different things.
Right. I'll tell you, sincere, I'll take advantage of it if someone's been down a while and's out and would like to help others who are just released. Just say it again. We have 2 openings coming up, so if my phone number's still there somewhere.
Yeah, I've been switch it back and forth.
Yeah. Some people think of me as Stuffy Stanley, but I'm really Big Easy, and be happy to help train somebody, get them up and running. But we need 2 new peer support workers. If someone's fluent in Spanish, it'd be a huge, big plus.
Yeah, that's
huge
great.
plus.
You hear that, guys? That's great.
That was redundant. Huge, big plus. But
yeah, jumbo shrimp.
no jumbo, an oxymoron. Jumbo shrimp. Or military intelligence. Then we don't want to go there.
Yeah.
We don't want to go there.
Yeah, well, it's been close to about an hour. Gary, would you want to any last words or
No, we just appreciate
promotions or anything you want to say to people out there?
Yeah, we just appreciate you. We're doing all we can to help these programs, and we need to support in the community as well, and we'll keep doing it.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
I thank you very much for coming in
Yeah.
today. Sorry about last week. We had some
Oh, no
problems. Hope
worries.
we made up for it.
Yeah.
Stanley, I want to thank you again for coming
My
out.
pleasure. And let me reach across
Yeah.
and thank you for what
Yeah.
you do. It was fun. I'm
Thank
glad we got to do this together.
All right.
Yeah.
So, any last questions, guys? Here, let's see. I guess that's about it. Anybody have a last word? If not, we'll say goodbye. Love you all.
So
God bless
the
you.
next time we'll interview you.
Sure. All right. Thanks again for watching. Next week, I have Ken Brydon. He did 39 years in San Quentin. He helped start some of the first AA meetings that started in San Quentin. He's been out a couple years out of San Quentin now. Just last weekend, he had dinner with the warden and the warden's wife at their home. This guy had a real impact in turning his life around while he was in San Quentin. He's going to be here next week. Live. He's not going to be in the office, but we're going to do it remotely. And he's a good guy, and I've known him since he's been out of San Quentin. The guy has done wonders with his live show. Don't miss next week's show. Thanks again for watching, guys.